Hello everyone to Dark Souls 3 video. I am WeFox and boy am I happy to make this. So, this will be a lot different from my usual Dark Souls videos since I'm more of a PvP guy and I assure you I'm going to make PvP content in the future. But this time I want to talk about the final boss. Dark Souls 2. Soul of Cinder, sorry. So, most people, of course, they notice how similar the Soul of Cinder is to Gwyn. Gwyn is the Lord. Gwyn is Lord of Cinder, and the Soul of Cinder is a manifestation of Gwyn and many others. Since in this game, instead of 4 lords like Dark Souls 1, you collect 4 Souls of Cinder. So, Soul of Cinder is obviously a reference to Gwyn, since in Phase 2 you can hear Gwyn's theme playing in the background. But that's not the only. He uses a variety of sorceries, pyromancies, miracles, and then his spiraling sword. So, in any other game, this was just... it could be a coincidence, or it could be that the developers wanted to make it so that the final boss used a variety of different moves, but not in a Souls game. In Souls games, everything has a clear purpose. So, why does the boss use so many different techniques? I think that has something to do with what reads in the description of Soul of... it's not the Soul of Cinder, I'm sorry. It's actually a live commentary, by the way. I haven't pretty much ever done any post commentaries, and those just feel really weird to me. So I prefer doing live commentaries to those, but there are occasionally those moments in which my mind goes completely blank and nothing just comes out. Anyways, the Soul of the Lord's description tells that the soul is a manifestation of Lord Gwyn and many exalted lords that have come after him. So, what do I think this means? I think it means, excuse me, here we need to take a look at how Dark Souls 1 ending was made. So, Dark Souls 1 there are 2 different endings. There are the you become the Dark Lord ending, and then there is the... Alright, I never knew he could parry. Anyways, there's the you become the Dark Lord ending, and then in addition to that, there is the Link the First Flame ending. And here we are curious about the Link the First Flame ending. Since there, you become the vessel and give yourself to extend the length of the flame and the age of the fire a bit further. Just like Gwyn did for a longer period. So, who are exactly these exalted lords the Soul of the Lord is talking about? And here you can hear the Gwyn part. So I think the exalted lord refers to all the players, all the different kinds of players that link the first flame. Since not Gwyn, I'm really sorry. The Soul of Cinder is sorceries, pyromancy, miracles, and all this stuff. I think it refers to all the different kinds of players that have linked the first flame in Dark Souls 1. So obviously Gwyn used sunlight spears to penetrate the... I like the actual bit. Okay. Gwyn used sunlight spears and different lightning spears, which is nice to penetrate the scale of the dragons, like introduced in Dark Souls 1's opening cutscene. So it's not surprising that the Soul of Cinder uses sunlight spears as well, or that you can make a sunlight spear miracle out of the soul. Okay, here. But homing crystal soul mask, what else is there? Soul greatsword or Pharaoh greatsword in this game. Soul spears, the laser. Power within, then great fireball, I think toxic mist, and then there might be something that I missed. But all those, they are not just to make the end boss seem very cool, since it's used a lot. Lots of different magic, but I think it's a reference to Dark Souls 1. Alright, we are dead. Maybe now I can concentrate on this. I wanted something to go along in the background. Why can I... A dark spirit. Oh yeah, it's a sunlight bro. But anyways, the description of the Firelink greatsword, when I can find it. The Laws of Cinder linked the first flame, and the greatsword was wielded by the deific manifestation, which obviously is the Soul of Cinder. This cold sword found in the bonfire existed long before the throneless dwarves themselves. And it acts a lot, when the Soul of Cinder wields it, it acts a lot like the Great Lord Greatsword from Dark Souls 1 when you wield it. It's coated in fire. And let's read from the wiki. The Soul of the Lords. The Soul of the Lords, one of the Twisted Souls deep in strength, used to act in numerous soul or transport to express its truth. And since Lord Gwyn, the first Lord of Cinder, many exalted lords have linked the first flame. It is their very souls that have manifested themselves as defender of the flame. So many exalted lords have linked the first flame. It is their very souls that have manifested themselves as defender of the flame. This is the phrase that caught my attention. This, to me, at least, obviously, I'm not sure whether I said it before, but this is obviously all just speculation. But I think this means that it refers to all the players that have come after Gwyn to link the first flame, and all those souls have burned into this manifestation, the Soul of Cinder, into one. And what else did I have in mind? So let me go see the Sunlight Spear's description. I'm quite confident it was almost the same as in Dark Souls 1. Here's the line. The Tales of Gwyn's Arch-Dragon Hunts describe the inception of the Age of Fire. Yeah. So everybody who has played Dark Souls 1, and then that also gives a reference to Gwyn. The Soul of Cinder is fought in the Kiln of the First Flame, which was the final area of Dark Souls 1 as well. So obviously many things refer to Gwyn, and it's really obvious that since Gwyn's theme even plays in Phase 2 on the background, or not the exact theme, but parts of it play in the background. But I think that's very interesting that part of the exalted lords have come after Gwyn to link the first flame, and their souls have become this manifestation as defender of the flame. All that. I think it's really interesting, and obviously I'm nothing compared to people like Hellkite Drake or Vatividia or Terra Mantis, or people like this who are really good at uncovering the lore. But that just caught my attention when I first fought the Lord of Cinder, Soul of Cinder. I keep mixing them up. When I first fought it, the thing that caught my attention is that it used a lot of different magic. And at first I obviously thought, like many people would, like, oh, this is really cool end boss since it uses like all the techniques you have encountered during the game and stuff like that. But since it is a Souls game, everything has deeper meaning, and I think the deeper meaning to that is that I love using the word that. I really, if I make these videos in the future, I'll make sure to do a script for these things, since it's really hard to talk about a specific thing and focus on talking about that thing and not wandering around or having your mind go blank. So, my theory is that Soul of Cinder is a manifestation of Lord Gwyn and many different players that have beat Dark Souls 1 and Link the First Flame. Obviously, no, From Software didn't just like take random players and use them as an example, but it took a lot of different playstyles, like playstyles. It's not playstyle, whatever. Pyromancer, Cleric, Faith builds, Sorcerer builds, Pyromancer builds, and they have many different melee attacks, and a quite similar moveset to Gwyn. But I think it's not just a reference to Gwyn, but it's a reference to Gwyn and many that have come after Gwyn to Link the First Flame, like the so-called good ending in Dark Souls 1. Anyways, now for the announcement thingy. So, I love Dark Souls 3 a shit ton. I actually think Dark Souls 3 is like Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and parts of Bloodborne and Demon Souls, of all the previous Souls games, put into one and made into a great game. The weapon skills and different kinds of movesets in weapons make the PvP really fun, so I'm going to make some PvP videos in the future. I hope so. But lately my PvP has been laggy, like everybody seems like they're just floating in the air and I can't tell when they're shielding or attacking. But since it's been like 90% of people in the past few days, I'm starting to think it's probably my internet, so I'm trying to get that fixed. When I fix it, I'll be sure to make some Dark Souls 3 content. Mainly PvP, since that's my bread and butter. But this was my attempt at some loring. I think it's really interesting, and I'm sure some bigger content creators, especially that specialize in lore, like VatiVidya, will most likely cover the Soul of Cinder and all the things, lore things that have some link to him. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a toast. This has been Wee Fox. See you next time.